All right, Shaggy. So here we kind of go again with this stuff. And we're going to get to it in the first segment. There is a poll that came out. This is on the NHL's official Twitter page. And they did a poll where they polled their writers on who is the Jack Adams winner for right now, which is the best head coach in the league. And Jared Bednar isn't even on that list. Should we be preparing ourselves again for an Avalanche kind of shutout when it comes to award season?
As long as we're etching the name on the cup, I don't care.
I like your thinking there. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Locked On Avalanche podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chris Maselli. With me, as always, Mr. Shaggy Von Doom. Kyle Sullivan, thank you for making this your first listen of the day. Always appreciated. And if you're listening or watching on YouTube and you heard the opening, we're going to get to a poll that was posted to the official NHL Twitter page. I don't think this is on their website. I went to their website quickly to check to see if it was there. I think this was just like a poll that they did and put it up on Twitter. And it was for the Jack Adams Award, which is the league's best head coach. And on that list, I'll tell you who's not on that list. Jared Bednar. So we will talk about that and why does this keep happening to Avalanche Avalanche players and coaches and even front office people like Joe Sakic. We'll talk about that. We will talk about the possibility of the reverse retros coming back. There's some grumblings online about it. We'll talk about that. I like it. And we will also kind of preview the game tonight against the Boston Bruins when they come to town. Can the Avalanche make it 17 in a row at home, 8 in a row overall? Let's get to it. A lot to do. So first things first, follow the show on social media outlets, LOPN_Avalanche on Twitter, Locked On Avalanche on Instagram. Questions, comments, concerns, opinions to lockedonavalanche@gmail.com. And follow the show on our YouTube channel over on YouTube. Hit subscribe and get notified when a new show goes live. So I want to put this poll. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to put that poll up on the screen for everybody. I'll make that a little bit bigger. There you go. And that's the voting for the Jack Adams Award. And you can see it says 16 NHL.com writers cast their vote. Mike Sullivan and Gerard Gallant, Mike Sullivan of Pittsburgh Penguins, Gallant of the New York Rangers, are tied with 44 votes. And in third is Rod Brind'Amour. Well, they say 34 votes. It's 34 points, really. But that's your top three. Sullivan, Gallant tied for first, and Brind'Amour tied for third. They have other receiving votes. And they have John Hines and Andrew Burnett. So even in your top five, I'm stomping my feet right now like my 5-year-old. How? Explain this to me, please. Explain this to me how you do not have Jared Bednar in your top five. Now I'm banging the table. I have hockey pucks all around me that I want to throw against the wall. This is ridiculous.
And just to further prove how ridiculous this list is, if you're going off a really hot coach, where's Bruce Boudreau? He's turned Vancouver around as well.
Well, I think you need a little bit longer,
but
more
if you're
games under your belt than.
I'm saying this: you have Gallant up there, who's coaching the Rangers. Big deal. Laffy can do a lot for you. Mike Sullivan, that's a great last name, by the way. But I mean, like the Penguins. Really? What have they really done? It's Sidney Crosby.
Well, I mean, they are playing well. I'm going to give the Penguins credit. They're doing well. They've had kind of like a rocky beginning to the season where they're playing well. Then they kind of like had a valley, but they're coming back strong. They're okay. I'm okay with Pittsburgh and how they're playing, and maybe him being on here. But here's my thing: all of these guys on here are at one point or another where Jared Bednar has been in the past.
Yes.
At some point. And Bednar has never been on here recently. He was on the turnaround season the year after they had that horrid season. But what happened? Vegas came into play and had, the expansion season for the ages. So he wasn't going to get it that year, which is ridiculous. And I think it was Gallant who got it then.
I think so.
I think it was Gallant. But so, okay, fine. So you didn't give it to them when he had a turnaround season that was unprecedented.
Mhm.
That was, I get what Vegas did was unprecedented too. So I can have that argument with you. And I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, it should have been Bednar that year and only Bednar. But now what? I mean, now he's having he's has a team that is expected to be right where they are.
Mhm.
That is not easy to do.
Yeah,
and he's doing it. Go ahead.
What the big thing is right now, and the reason I was pointing that out, like Rod Brind'Amour with the Canes, like I get it, it's a hot team, that's great. Gallant and Sullivan, take it or leave it. Bednar is coaching a team to 16 straight home wins with Darcy Kemper in net. And if you want to chalk up and say, well, they have Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar, there were times this season we didn't.
Exactly.
There were times we didn't have Gabriel Landeskog. There were times that we didn't have players taking the ice in the Nashville game until they got tests. Yeah. And he's still fielding one of the best teams in the league. And if he didn't win it last year, fine, I guess you can explain it away. This year, we were talking at the beginning of the year, like this team is going to look so much more different. We're losing Donskoy. We're losing Saad. We're losing all of these key players. And we're making Abe Kubel almost a household name now.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that's not coaching? That somebody we picked up off a Philly waiver wire is good enough to not get a coaching award? Come on now.
Yeah. I mean, Sullivan and Gallant are they deserve credit, and Gallant is doing this year with the Rangers. Like he's turned them around. Bednar did that same exact thing. Sullivan, he's turned around, did that same exact thing. Brind'Amour, the Canes are exactly where they are supposed to be, where people thought they would be, at the top of the league standings. So why is Brind'Amour getting all of this love and Bednar gets nothing? Nothing. It's driving me crazy, and it's going to just be prepared, people. It is going to happen across the board for the Avalanche. Yeah. The only one that I think is in the clear is Cale Makar. And I'm not even convinced just based on vote, because this is all voting. This is all, Adam Fox, because he won it last year and he's in a big market, will get more votes simply because of that. Yeah. I guarantee you. I'm not saying he's going to win it. I think it will be very close. And I think Cale Makar will win it in the end. But this doesn't bode well for Jared Bednar getting the Jack Adams. And I cannot wait to see who the three finalists are for top GM. I can't wait, because if Joe Sakic gets shut out from that again, I am throwing all the conspiracy theories out there. It's absurd why he has not been up for that yet.
Yeah, and the 16 NHL.com writers, I wonder if they were just 16 Eastern Conference writers, because there's a lot of Eastern Conference love in that top three.
That's true.
Like,
that's true.
Did they forget to interview the 16 for the Western Conference and get their opinion too and put that together?
You know what? I don't know.
Well, especially with how you're looking at the Western Conference this year, like everybody's like, well, the East is locked up. You know who's going to be. Everybody calls it the Wild West this year because of so many teams. Like, who would have thought St. Louis and Nashville would be where they are now? Yeah. And the Avalanche, like with regards to Nashville, they're, a bump of the road, but every other team we're handling and we're doing what we need to do. Like, how is Bednar not in the conversation for any of this? And why is he not getting the love?
Who's the other one?
Brind'Amour, Burnett, and Hines.
Okay, Burnett. Yeah. I don't know. It's really just truly baffling to me that it just continues to happen. That Avalanche players and coaches just continually get shut out from this thing. It just doesn't make sense to me.
And they couldn't even get a good picture of Rod the Bod. I mean, he's a gorgeous man, and they made it. I mean, he's got like a Brandon Tanev picture of Rod Brind'Amour up there.
He doesn't really take good pictures, I have to say, Rod Brind'Amour. But I don't know. There it is. It's on the YouTube stream if you're watching that. We'll see. I mean, I know we're only halfway through. Maybe, if the Avs go on at the pace that they're at, just start breaking some records somehow. Like you have to give this guy some credit. And like you said, most of this season they have been injured. They haven't had a full squad, maybe 3 games, if I'm remembering correctly. So to do that and be in the position that they're in, that's coaching. Yes, give players on the ice credit too, but that is coaching.
Do you not think that maybe we're kind of getting that weird West Coast like avoidance? The NHL American headquarters is in New York City. Maybe the reason that top 3 is so East Coast heavy is because the East Coast watchers are in bed. All those writers are in bed by the time the Avalanche decide to play the Kings or the Ducks, because they're not going to write their article at 1 a.m. I wonder if that, like the same reason, like you don't see Zegras in the All-Star game, like in Milano, like those are 2 names you would like to see in the All-Star game. It's just, I wonder if we're kind of lumped in that West Coast, like they're not going to stay up and watch the talent, but they know they're good. They see the stat line, but they don't pay attention.
I want to see it all. And when you get the voting at the end of the year and the awards, like you see like the full graphic, not just the first. You see how all the voting pans out. I want to see this.
Yeah,
I know it's just a mid-season poll from some staff writers, but I want to see all of their votes because I just want to know how far down they have Bednar. It's already laughable that he's not even in their top 5. I just want to see how far down the Excel spreadsheet you have to go to find him. It's a joke. So here we are. All right, let's hear from who we got today. Built Bar, and then let's talk some jerseys. Always loving talking some jerseys. But Built Bar, it continues to be the new year. Happy New Year again to you, Mr.
Happy
Sullivan.
New Year, Chris.
Yes. And that means New Year's resolutions. If yours is about getting fit or eating healthier, make sure you include Built Bar in that plan. And Built Bar is the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar, probably even better than a candy bar. It makes it easier to stick to your New Year's resolutions. It tastes so good, you won't be able to keep your hands off of them. Kyle, I think, are you done with yours yet? Did you plow through yours?
Yes.
There they are.
I got maybe this and like maybe 2 or 3 in my assortment box. So
they're good stuff. So you want to eat healthy, but it just gets so boring by week 3. You might be thinking, where's the chocolate? Well, you are in luck because Built Bars are covered in 100% chocolate. And they taste unlike any other protein bar on the market. Most protein bars can be chalky, waxy, or they can even taste like
a chemical spill.
That's the worst flavor out there. But Built Bars contain 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 grams of net carbs, and 17 grams of protein compared to other candy bars, which usually have around 240 calories, 30 grams of sugar, and dozens of net carbs. So go to built.com, use the promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off of your order. Once again, that promo code is LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com. All right, so maybe we might be needing to add to our jersey arsenal because there's rumors going around. I haven't seen anything set in stone, but so what? It's jerseys. It's not like we're talking about players that are coming and going and trades. This is just, possibilities of reverse retros coming back for next year. The one thing I did hear was that they might be coming back for this season before the season started, obviously. Because last year when they brought him in, it was a shortened season. I had heard that they were going to extend it into this year. That obviously didn't happen. But maybe they were just taking a year off and they're going to bring him back for next year. Again, I haven't heard anything set in stone from the main sources that I follow. But there are some people that are out there that are still reputable people that are saying this is going to happen. And they're also saying some tweaks might be made. Now, was that when they said that, was that to all of them or just if tweaks wanted to be made, they would be allowed to do that?
Yes. It's the scenario if tweaks need to be made or want to be made by the team, they can be. Case in point, Buffalo has already talked about their third for next year is going to be my favorite jersey of all time, the black and red Buffalo Head Buffalo Sabres jersey.
Yeah.
And they've already made some slight modifications. Like you could go to aesthetics and you could see the modifications they did on the logo. So you can see this as an active change. Like when teams fell flat, like Dallas and Detroit, they have a chance to fix their reverse retros and do something cool. And I've heard from a couple Avalanche circles that the Avalanche are thinking about reversing the reverse retro. So
Just
go
making it dark,
dark jersey, white
okay.
fleur de lis.
Okay, like the Forsberg you have behind you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's there. It's a possibility, and it's one of those things that when the reverse retros were announced and dropped, everybody they fell in love with it. It was beautiful. Mm-hmm. It was hard to get a hold of, and now you can't. You can't get. So this is a wonderful chance, if these rumors do get to be true, to go get your hands on these beautiful jerseys for all the teams. Talking about you, Arizona.
I didn't mind Arizona's. I thought they were okay. Like, and honestly, I know I'm in the minority here. I didn't mind the Red Wings.
Really?
I was. It was just minimalistic. I was okay with that. Could they have done something different? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a team that definitely wants a reboot on this is the Islanders.
Yes.
The Islanders just released a jersey.
Give me the fish stick jersey.
I think that will be an interesting one to see. For the Avs, you know what, man? I'm going to say this. I don't want them to do the Nordiques. I want them to completely change. I want them to do, one of the early Avalanche. Or if you wanted to do the Colorado, like the Ranger style, I mean, you could, yeah. I would want them to revisit an old uniform from their era, from when they moved to Colorado. I absolutely love the Nordiques retro. That was far and away the best one. And you're not going to convince me otherwise. I think most Avalanche fans will feel the same way. I would like the fact that was a one and done thing. I think the appeal of it would last a lot longer than if you change the colors, even if and that would be cool. I'm not saying, like, it would be very cool to do. Now you're doing the dark version of the Nordiques with Avalanche colors. But the Avalanche had some awesome uniforms in their heyday, and I want to see some of those come back for a few games. I would love that.
You get the possibility of getting the Yeti foot.
Exactly. Do that.
Because I completely agree with you about the Nordiques thing, because this is almost like when you went to the movies to see the Kingsman 1 and you walked out of there, you're like, that was a cool movie. And then you go back to see Kingsman 2. It's pretty much the same thing, but it didn't feel the same. And you're like, that was okay.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to do that if we reverse the reverse retro with the Nordiques. We're like, that was really cool. And then they flip it and you're like, we could have got Yeti foot or the Colorado Rangers jersey. Like, there's so many possibilities.
So I'm saying, like, if you're going to do reverse retros, like you have every team has multiple things that they can go back to, dip into, and bring it back. I just don't want the Avalanche to do the same thing and just change the colors. Yeah, it would be cool. Now you have basically a home and away version of a Nordiques uniform with Avalanche colors. But I love some of those old school Avalanche, like with the big name on the back and the big black letters. Like, those are just classic jerseys to me. Tell me that wouldn't be amazing to watch that skating around today.
Like
it'd be awesome.
The Duchesne era striping down the side in our current colors with the piping the way it is now. Like, just a chance, because these new jerseys, they have a different crest. I don't know if you've purchased one of the new jerseys. The old crests are solid and they're like one piece. These new ones, they're a lot more malleable and you can move with them. And for the opportunity to step back and get one of those jerseys you used to love in this new style would be incredible.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a big announcement like they did when they announced these reverse retros the first time. There's that big video that came out when we knew the Avalanche was going to do something Nordiques wise. They hit a home run with it. If they choose to stay that route, so be it. And I will obviously buy them.
You betcha.
But I just think, like, it's almost like, you create that demand for the one that you made for that 1 year, and that's it.
Yeah.
And everybody can look back at that. Like, remember when the Avalanche did that for, that's the one and only time they've ever really brought back the
Yeah.
Nordique
Absolutely.
logo. So I don't think they want to make a habit of it. I
Yeah.
don't. I think they want to be known as the Avalanche, and of course they're always going to be associated with the Nordiques, and they're okay with that. But I don't think at every opportunity they're going to want to keep throwing out Nordique stuff. They did it once. It was a home run. Now put it away and let that legend of that one uniform grow, and then do something else. It's just my
Yeah.
take on
You don't want to turn into the Carolina Hurricanes where every other night is Hartford Whaler night. It's like every other highlight
it.
I
Yeah,
watch of the Hurricanes, they're wearing those Whaler sweaters.
it's true. Yeah, which are awesome.
Yep.
Awesome, but it loses its luster after a little while.
Yep.
It's like the National League and the American League playing each other.
Yeah.
Like when that first happened, that was a big deal. Now nobody cares,
Yep.
and people are going to care about this. So pump the brakes, Letterkenny. All right. Finally, we are going up against the Boston Bruins for the first time this year, and I'm sure. I think Connor McGahey has been doing when the Avs play a team they haven't played in a long time. He puts up how many days it's been since they played. I don't
Oh,
know what it is, but it's probably like 900 and something days since the last time that the
yeah.
Avs and the Bruins have gone head to head. So Bruins come to town. Avalanche trying to make it 17 in a row at home. 8 in a row overall, I believe. Yeah, I think 8 in a row overall, 17 in a row at home that they're going for. Bruins come in, they're in a good spot standings wise. From let me see where they're. I know they have a wild card. It's weird because they have 50 points in the season. They're 24, 13, and 2. That's a decent record.
Mm-hmm.
They are holding the second wild card right now. The team below them is the Detroit Red Wings. They are 8 points behind them. And Boston has 3 games in hand on them. So Boston is sitting pretty when it comes to a playoff spot, and they don't really have anybody pushing it. But now it's for them. It's for seeding. They are on the heels of the Maple Leafs in the division, and I think that's what they're going to be focusing on, obviously. So they're 3 points behind Toronto. And then above them is the Lightning. They're 11 points are above them, as are the Florida Panthers. But the Bruins are in that spot where every, and you say it all the time, every game counts. Yeah, clearly every game counts. But these are really, really meaningful games for them. And now they just finished a 7-game homestand. I think they finished 5-2, but the last game they lost to Anaheim. And now they're coming cross country to go against obviously a really good Avalanche team. These two teams don't go up a lot against each other. What are we expecting?
Well, because I'm a lame single father with no life, before the Avalanche game the other night, I watched that Ducks and Bruins game just to get an idea on what we're in for. And I'll let you know right now, Tuukka Rask is not the same Tuukka Rask that you know.
Well, no, but it's early. It's early.
They're compensating with that veteran talent. Pastrnak is on another level.
Yeah.
And if you go and look at their penalty kill and their face-off stats and their power play, top 10 in each category.
Yeah, very good.
So I know we like to feel comfortable with how the penalty kill and power play look right now. Fantastic test while you're hot at home against a very, very good team where the veterans are literally carrying this team. If they took a off night, and this is one of those games that we talk about, the Avalanche need to get out early, take the Bruins out early, because if they feel like they have a chance, if you go another 0-0 first period like we did at Chicago, I think you're opening the door for some hurt, and this beautiful streak could go away.
This is what you want to see when it comes to top lines, because this is whenever if they had another vote on NHL.com of what the top line in league is, clearly there's East Coast bias here, and it'd probably go to Boston. We know better, but that's not to say that this top line for Boston is legit with Bergeron, Pastrnak, and Marchand, and they they're no joke. So I want to see that. I want to see that matchup between those top two lines. Who gets the better of the other one? it'll be who do you think is going to be goal for the Avalanche? I mean, we don't know who's going to be goal for Boston. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Who's going in goal for the Avs? Do they give? I mean, following up a shutout to Francouz, or did they go back to Kemper?
This feels like a Darcy game to me.
Hmm.
Like Pavel Francouz went out there and got you a shutout, which is great. Okay, now we're at a place where we get a little bit of a break, like a little over a week when it comes to the All-Star game. Go every other day with these goalies. Say, look, let's see what you could do, and then see if Darcy could stand up to this top line. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Marchand might be hurt, so that might work in our favor.
I don't. Well, Marchand is hurt, but I don't think that kept him out. He came back. Let me see.
Because I know,
did he play the Anaheim game?
I think he left in that game, if I'm not mistaken, because I don't remember seeing him the rest for a while. But Pastrnak scares me. I mean, from what I saw,
almost 20 minutes. Marchand played almost 20 minutes. So, but I mean, he did get he got hit pretty hard, but he came back. But you know who did get hurt, and he's been hurt most of the year is Nick Foligno. That signing is not panning out for them.
Yeah, it's bad.
What's he got? Like 7 points on the season right now. Let me see what he's got. He's got a goal and 6 assists in 26 games. I mean, even playing 26 games, you got to be better than that.
Taylor Hall is still a Bruin, just for the record.
Hey, and he's up there, man. Like, he's 9 goals, 18 assists, 27 points in 39 games. Obviously not a point per game player, but he's still producing. But that top line, you got Marchand with 45 points in 34 games, Pastrnak with 37 points in 39 games, but he is coming on strong lately.
Yes.
And Bergeron with 32 points in 38 games. That's their bread and butter. How the Avs were known as that top line team, 3 years ago? That is what the Bruins are. Yeah, they have some good depth players here and there, and they used to rely heavily on their goalie situation. But if the Avs can break up that top line for the Bruins, I think things are looking in the favor of the Avs, because I will take the Avs depth over the Boston Bruins depth any day.
And you were saying with that top line for Boston, I think they were topping out at 47 points. It was like 47, 40, like 6, somewhere in there.
46 for you mean for Marchand, Pastrnak, and Bergeron? 45, 37, 32.
Nathan McKinnon has 43. Mikko Rantanen has 49. And Nas has 52.
So we win.
We win, but it's one of those that they're right there. Like you feel like we're on such a high, going so long with this winning streak and feeling so commanding that you feel like the Avalanche are better in every category. We're not that far from that top line with our point producers for the Boston Bruins. So this is one of those games you look forward to. It's 2 beautiful Jersey games, history, and 2 like very strong top lines. Who's going to win? It's a paper, rock, scissors game, honestly.
Yeah, it could be. I think you got to give the nod to the Avalanche for the simple fact that they're at home, and that streak that they have at home is legit. It's no joke. So we shall see. This is one of those games. We talked about Timothy and Jost yesterday. This is their game to show up. Yep. Totally agree. So we shall see. We will be back tomorrow to discuss it, break it all down. Can the Avs continue both of these streaks before they go? I think they're playing Chicago after this, right? Yes, they are. Pretty sure. And that's on the road. So let's get one more home win, get to 17, and we can take a little bit of a reprieve at Ball Arena and kind of just sit back and soak in the 17-game home winning streak. But another 2 points on the line. Let's hope the Avs can get this thing. So that will do it for today, everybody. Thank you for tuning in and making it your first listen of the day. Always appreciated. Head on over to Locked On NHL to make that your second listen of the day. Get caught up on everything going on around the league. That'll wrap it up. He is Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. I am Chris Maselli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.